people are looking for more affordable EVs because the mindset is such that now, given that our charging infrastructure or public charging infrastructure is still growing, the mindset is I want to keep my petrol car. But
Yes.
I want to have a second EV car because I know that this is cool. I know that this is good for city driving, but I don't want to spend so much. Right? And so for a lot of people, spending over 100,000 for an EV car, a second car, is too much. So that I think is one of the biggest challenges facing EV adoption in Malaysia. What the government is doing is that they have they're working closely with both Proton and Petroleum to accelerate their locally assembled or locally manufactured EVs. And Proton, I believe, has committed to starting to sell something by the end of this year.
Pure EV or it's a hybrid? Oh.
They call it the EMAS 7, I believe. And that is, depending on who you talk to, is based on a model that's already sold in China. But I suspect it is just going to be something that is based on that model but heavily modified for our market. So end of this year, they're going to start selling it. Perudo is saying end of next year.
So the price will be hundreds and lowers?
Nobody really knows, but I suspect that Proton will try and price it close to the 100,000 mark because what they are starting with, this Proton EMAS 7, is going to be a relatively big car. It's not going to be a Axia type. It's going to be more the X70 type. So they are going to start there. So it's probably going to be around 100. If they're going to go below 100, it's probably not going to be much lower than 100. Probably like 90 plus or 80. But really, this is just my guess.
Do you think that to speed up the adoption rate of EVs, right? The price of the car should be lower than hundreds so that more people will get to access to this EV to try. So it has to be cheap but affordable.
Yeah, it has to be. The different models has to be available for people with different purposes, right? Because your typical car buyer in Malaysia also, some of them are looking for MPV, some of them are looking for SUV, some of them are looking for just a small car for their children. So there needs to be a variety. We can see in terms of price, the segments, segment A, segment B, C, right? So the prices will also follow those. Right now in Malaysia, just because the initial pioneers in the the manufacturing side are all focusing on the high end. So you have a lot of BMWs, Volvos, and Mercedes, and those are kind of saturated already, that market, the 300, 400,000. So we now see the need for more like the 100,000, 80,000, 60,000. And so that will happen over the next few years. Now, the main worry is as those happen, the growth trajectory of the EVs in Malaysia will increase. Charging.
The charging station is always the
public charging infrastructure. We are seeing that even today along the highways, during busy periods, during the weekends, there's already queues. So the government needs to focus a lot more on the highway charging. And not only that, though, they need to also help the users who live in high rises to be able to
apartments, condos, right?
Correct.
Yes.